and welcome to my League of Legends beginner's guide. Let's get right into it. So League of Legends is a MOBA based game, which is a multiplayer online battle arena. In this game, this is the client for the game. Now on your client you'll have your friends list, so you can add and share with friends. You'll have chat groups to communicate with other summoners, and then last of all you'll have your notifications, so you can know when you're getting invited to a game. At the top of your screen you have your store, and then next to that you'll also have your profile, so you can look at that later once you've done some actual games. Now what you want to do to get into your first game is look at the top and you'll see the play button. Click on that now and then you can go straight into a game. There are multiple game modes you can try, but the main one you want to notice is Summoner's Rift. Summoner's Rift is the main game mode you're going to be using. So let's get right into it. You want to click on play and then you'll see various options. Most people will go to normal games, but you want to start off with custom and co-op vs AI games to get yourself used to the game mode. You want to look for a beginner game and go solo match me with teammates. This will get you into the queue to find a game, and after a while you'll find a game. Click accept on that match and wait till everyone's accepted. Now you'll be in Champion Select. In Champion Select you'll have your runes and masteries, your summoner spells, and then after that you'll have all your champions that you can choose from. At the beginning you may only have 10 or so, but that'll get more and more as you learn about the store and accessing it. Some of the main champions would be Garen, a tank champion, Ryze, an ability power champion, and Ashe, an attack damage champion. These are really good beginner champions, and I'd recommend using these three champions as you start off. These champions are very cheap in the store and you'll unlock them early. As you can see, once you have locked in your champion, I have chosen Garen. You have your skins and then setup time to sort out your runes, masteries, summoner spells, and all of that. You'll learn about that further into the game, but now let's stop. As I said earlier, the whole game is about Summoner's Rift. Summoner's Rift is the main game mode in the game, and there'll be three lanes: top, bot, and mid. These three lanes are pretty much the pinnacle of how you'll start learning. You'll always go to these lanes with your teammates, and this is where most of the game will happen, even after the laning phase. There are different phases in the game, which will be team fighting, laning, roaming, and there'll be all these different things that you'll need to pick up. But the most basic thing is to remember that these are the three lanes, and you will be there with your champions versus the enemy champions. The loading screen will usually look like this. It'll have the enemy team, your team, and the summoner spell for every champion. Most teams consist of 2 people going bottom, 1 person going top, 1 person going mid, and a person jungling with the Smite summoner spell. But you won't have to worry about these roles until further into the game. Right now, just focus on playing champions that you think will be fun, and just go into any lane. Communicate with your team to make sure you're going into the right lane, and you want to make sure every lane is balanced. Now that you're into game, you'll spawn at your fountain. Your fountain will have all 5 of your teammates, and it'll be right next to your base, your nexus. It'll also have the store. In the store, you'll want to buy the recommended items. Now, if we look into the other side of the map, it is symmetrical, so you'll be able to see the enemy champions. You won't be able to see them, you'll be able to see the enemy base. That's where the enemy champions have spawned as well. They have the exact same layout as your map. When you are in your base, you'll heal mana and health very quickly, and you'll also have access to the store. Riot's recommended items are very good for each champion, so I would recommend starting with them as well, but you can also go through and buy your own items. To get an item, you click on it and click the buy option. You can also right click on any item to buy it quickly. Once you've got your items, you want to look at what lane you should be going in. Because 2 of my teammates went top and 2 of my teammates went bottom, I'll take in the middle lane. The main thing you want to focus on in the laning phase would be last hitting, or CSing. Last hitting is when you see the enemy minions bar very low on HP, and you hit it just at the last second to gain the golden experience from that minion. Last hitting gains a fair amount of gold, and it scales much better than always going for the enemy champion. See the enemy range champion going for a minion, so I begin an exchange. As a melee champion, when you are closer to a ranged champion, you'll usually deal more damage, but also take damage as you a melee champion. Minions will always focus you if you attack the enemy champion, so take a look at how many minions are on each side. Now that I've got the enemy Malzahar low, I can now get minions easier, and look for another exchange since I have more minions than him. In the bottom left of the screen you'll have your stats, your attack damage, ability power, attack speed, movement speed, armor, and magic resist. Your armor and magic resist depends how much damage you take from abilities and attacks, and your attack damage is based on how much your auto attacks will deal. Your ability power will base how much your abilities deal. You also have every champion will have 4 abilities and a passive, or at least most of them will. You won't have to worry about figuring that out until later. You can also press C to look at Tips and stats for your champion if you want to know more and more. Malzahar's lower HP than me, so I look for another exchange. I go in with my full combo and take him down. That gives me 400 gold, and that is announced to the whole map as I got first blood. Kills, towers, and inhibitors will always be announced to the whole map. Now that you've killed the enemy champion, or that you've CS'd enough, you want to go back to the base and get better items. It is recommended that you just use the items that is shown for you, otherwise you may get items that doesn't scale with the champion. Look on the minimap, you'll see that there is not much shown to you as it is black. This is because it is the fog of war. Buying wards in 75 gold in the store will let you reveal the map. If your minions are pushed up to the tower and no enemies are present, it is recommended you hit the tower, because every time you damage that tower it will be closer to dying for your teammates to push that lane. If no enemies are present, you'll want to try take down enemy towers. Towers will gain your whole team 150 gold and create more pressure on the map for your team. If there are no minions present, or if you attack an enemy champion, the tower will always switch aggro to you. Take note of what your champion's abilities and passives are. Every champion has a unique set of skills, and your ultimate ability R will always have a significantly higher cooldown. You may want to use different abilities in different situations. I open up with my Q ability onto Sona, transition into my E, and take her down with the last auto attack. I see that the bottom lane is in trouble, so I start heading down. This is known as roaming. Just as I arrived, the enemy team was about to kill my teammate, but I save her and then grant her an assist as well. Pressing tab in-game, you can see how many kills, deaths, assists, minions, and what items everyone is building in the game. Sometimes you should be taking note of what other players are building if they are playing your champion, but don't always rely on one set of items. Towers deal significant damage. Towers damage also increases with every hit, so always stay behind your minions or stay behind the tanks when facing towers. Once you have taken down all the towers in one lane, you can attack the inhibitor. The inhibitor will start spawning super minions in that wave. Those super minions are almost powerful enough to take on most champions, so they will give your team a massive advantage, as they are powerful and much bigger than any other minions. They'll be at the back of each wave and start going up the lane as most minions do. Crowd control plays a big part in this game. Crowd control is when your champion has stunted movement or any other effects on them. As you can see, the enemy CC'd me under the tower with stuns and roots, so I was attacked. The tower focused me and I died. As you're a beginner, you have to learn that you will die, but instead of raging, try to learn from your mistakes and see what else you can do to make yourself better for the next time you're in that situation. Remember, every time you play, you're getting better, so try to improve and play lots of different champions as you go up levels out of the game. With dedication and hard work, you'll get better and you'll be seeing that victory screen much more often than you see the losing screen. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you on Summoner's Rift.